up, everybody? It's Steve. Welcome back to Atlantis Confirmed. Let's do the Denisovan Bracelet. This is a really big clue. The Denisovan Bracelet is made by a Paleolithic man. Could be dated up to 70,000 years old. That's the liberal estimate. The conservative estimate on this is 40 to 50,000 years old, which is still really old. So it is already known as the oldest stone bracelet in the world, believed to have been made not by ancient Homo sapiens, but the extinct Denisovan species of early humans, and previously dated as being between 40 and 50,000 years old. Look how pretty that is. It's stone, and it's smooth carved stone, so expertly that light passes through it, translucent. It's made of chlorite, which is had to be imported. So this isn't some local rock they picked up. That suggests sophistication and travel and trade. New findings suggest it could be 65,000 to 70,000 years old, long before ancient people were believed to be capable of making such remarkable objects. Okay, so here's some more looks at it. This part I found very interesting. That it supposedly had a leather strap with a little mini circle there that attached to it. So this is the kind of armband it was, presumably for a woman because of its size, and it's broken. Okay, some more. So you know me, I started fiddling around with contrast and everything, and because I was already starting to see scratch marks on there that started to look very familiar, and I was like, oh no. Let's see. And this skull shape popped out of me, and I said, oh no, and I found another picture of it. And then, here's our friend. Oh no. Yep. 40 to 70,000 year old Denisovan bracelet. Denisova is in Siberia in Russia, by the way. We have found Ophiuchus. We have found an etching on there. There's the eye. There's the blank eye. There's the. They've got the scar going through this side of it. Again, you know, it's esoteric. It's hidden. They flip it. I've seen it. I've seen it both ways. You know, if they're reflecting something in the heavens, it's the mirror image. See, and this is the Ophiuchus constellation. So this is the cave that it came in, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh no. The cave itself is an Ophiuchus head with the mouth right here, and there's the eye, and there's the eye, and there's the mark going through. Trust me. wait, it gets better. The Denisovan stone bracelet, oldest known jewelry in the world, made of chlorite stone, as I mentioned, that had to be imported. It looks like so it was very, very beautiful. This is another. It's Zabulba. Okay, here's the Moai thong. This was a tomb. This was not where they lived, and I think this was made for funereal purposes. This was a burial that they found here. You see the Y, and we know by the Mayan Polbovu, which again is just among the latest stories. It's not the beginning stories, because the beginning stories are far older. It's just the latest mythology of it. This would be the 3/4 of the way down. I can't see the other topography here, but I wouldn't doubt if this whole entire thing is a template geocarved. But this is definitely, I wouldn't also doubt that the sun maybe came up at this point. That might be a way to date it further, because that's where the disc would be in the template, and that this may have been why it was either this place was chosen. This looks like it could have been dug out, honestly. They're creating Zabulba. They're creating it's the Altamura Man cave. They're going down into the underworld where they are creating the burial. This is what started tombs and pyramids and whatnot. Middle to late Pleistocene East Asian archaic human skull caps typically share features with Neanderthals. So these were an offshoot, and that's something we need to get our heads around. We were not the only humanoids. Today we are. We are the only. We are the last man standing. We are all Homo sapiens. But there was modern science tells us that Homo sapiens, people who looked and thought exactly like us, existed for 200,000 years, possibly 300,000 years. And that's what it's leaning more towards. So we only have the Lascaux caves that go back 17,000 years. We're missing, conservatively speaking, 187,000 years worth of history, and liberally speaking, 287,000 years of history. And during much of that time, in fact, most of the time of our existence, we coexisted with Neanderthals and Denisovans. There were it was like the Star Wars cantina. It's like there were other beings other than humans walking around, thinking, interacting, and they were all here before us. And certainly, at least in the case of Neanderthal. And I think to just assume that they were just Captain Caveman is really vastly underestimating their learning capability over such a long period of time. Okay, so so they're talking about how they're related to the Tibetans. They even had a superpower. Tibetans, they're the ones who live high up in the mountains of China. They have a special gene that allows them to process oxygen better than normal people. The Sherpas the guides that take people up Mount Everest, they can do it without oxygen because they have this gene that allows them to process. So the Denisovans were different physiologically than we are. Let's move on. So this is very interesting. So the Denisovans apparently interbred with modern humans with about 3 to 5% of the DNA of the ancient Australians, being their descendants today. So that's in Ghana. That's ancient Australia is definitely one of the launching points for everything that happened. By the way, I feel like I'm starting to feel the edges around the human history story. I really believe that the Popol Vuh has not steered me wrong once yet. I think that may be our most accurate accounting of what happened in it's all symbolic and it's all been mythologized, but it's all there. And they say there were 3 people. The mud people came first. They couldn't move their heads. They were hard to understand or couldn't speak. And they went away, not because of a catastrophe, but because they couldn't reproduce anymore. I think these are our Neanderthals. And I've done other videos on that. These were our first people. And science tells us Neanderthals came first. So I think we vastly underestimate what they could have accomplished and what they could have passed on. The end people, so I think that's the beginning, and I think that's Altamura Man. And Altamura Man dates to 185,000 years ago. So even in the conservative estimate of how long the human Homo sapiens story is, of 200,000 years, I'm still only back to 185,000 years. That's a long time. Here's another thing that you need to get your head around, is that it was their world forever. We think we're so great with our Netflix and our lattes, and of course this is our planet, this is our world. Look how excellently we're ruining it. We have been here, modern man. It's only been 2,000 years since Jesus, and that's the Common Era, and the machine age, the industrial revolution, any world that we would recognize at all is only in the last 300-400 years. We're talking about a culture that lasted over 100,000 years, possibly hundreds of that, possibly more than 200,000 years. The world was a primitive before time, forever, and it was their world. This we have inherited. We may be able to do things that they couldn't, but we represent the third people, the people that the Maya talk about. The Maya have a myth that says a catastrophe happened. They said split up and conquer everywhere. I think the catastrophe was the Graham Hancock, the 10,650 BC comet, and the Maya were the third, no, the proto Maya. This whoever the proto Olmec, Maya, Aztec, the Quiche, these were the conquering tribe. This was the bird cult, and where I've traced Eden back to the first people, the mud people, back to the Aneti Plateau, the Aneti Massif. The legend of those people who originated that area is that they were executed. So we're talking about a culture that did not interbreed. This may be why we don't have a DNA trail. We're talking about a culture who came, conquered, and it was just ethnic cleansing. They didn't think anybody else. They didn't want any competition. They didn't I think that they stole the culture. I think they stole ideas. Think of them as like the Borg on Star Trek. It's like we take what you have of value, we assimilate you into us, and you are eliminated. And that's the third people. And I think this is the bird cult. I think this is the Egyptians with Horus. I think this is the Olmec piece that I found where they're wearing the bird mask. They're in the South Polynesian with the same bird mask as the Olmec piece, and then we see the Birdman culture in Rapa Nui, and that's where it ended with the conquistadores, because they were geographically isolated and they were still continuing. They were the last holdouts, and they were really our last sort of chance to really learn, and it all got wiped out when the conquistadores did more damage to world history in the name of my squatter man faith beats your squatter man faith or your plasma deity faith, because whoever faith wins. It's not about religions versus religions. It's about systems of control. If my religion is the dominant religion, I have the system of control. But it all traces back. That's what all the world holy wars were over. All those people died. It's the way I worship the plasma deity happened is the right way, not your way. And if I say it's your way, then I'm not in control anymore. So it hasn't been over faith. It's been over systems of control, but it's the same faith. Origin, anyway. Okay, so where was I? That this Denisovans persisted up to 14,500 years ago. That's not that long. That's within. That's after the Lascaux caves, which are 17,000. The cave paintings. Denisovans were still roaming the earth for 2,500 years after the ancient cave paintings are made. The Lascaux caves are in France. The Denisovan caves is in Siberia. It's walkable, and this is over thousands and thousands of years. We also find the same hand art in Lascaux and in Italy. Not in Altamiraman's cave, but in his cave system. Also, I didn't mention yesterday the Altamiraman's cave. Him also being in the very tip of the snakehead of the Ophiuchus constellation of it, I think that shows intelligent design. And he could have been anywhere in that cave system. I think it's the snakehead. Why is he in the snakehead? He could have been anywhere on there. And I think that shows intelligent design, which adds to my theory. Okay, so A first-generation hybrid nicknamed Denny was discovered with a Denisovan father and a Neanderthal mother. Also, I forgot to mention Altamira Man is also a hybrid. He's not full Neanderthal. He is also another missing link. I think that's what we're looking at here. We are looking at the transition from Neanderthal man, Denisovan man, to modern humans, and we are inheriting their knowledge, their culture, that they were the ones who discovered all of this stuff. Africa, of course, is the cradle of humanity. Of course, the oldest stuff would be where we were the longest. Okay, so Yep, so all that. Details of this because they also found a ring. The brace, but they have not released details of the ring. Come on, what's going on here? This belongs to everybody. You give such credence to the academia is suppressing things when you don't tell us what's on the ring. Why aren't you releasing the ring? But the bracelet, fashioned from imported chlorite, imported again. This suggests trade. This suggests travel. These are sophisticated things. You can't travel somewhere to get special stone if you're worried about your meal, if you're worried about being killed along the way, if you don't know where you're going. These all take time to develop. So even though we find and the skills to develop this, when they say this could have been indicative of much sooner than 70,000 years ago. The ancient master was skilled in techniques previously considered not characteristic for the Paleolithic era, such as easels, speed, drilling, boring tool-type rafts, grinding, polishing with a leather and skins of varying degrees of tanning. This thing is very advanced. The bracelet is stunning. In bright sunlight, it reflects the sun rays. At night, by the fire, it casts a deep shade of green. This was a highly sophisticated thing that should not exist in caveman, and it was very valuable, and that's why it's a tomb. They find bones, they find the jewelry. It's shaped like Zabulba. This was a tomb of a very important person, and this is what they say the guy looked like. Now this is from people who really believe that this is how much taller, because the bones they find are much bigger than Homo sapien bones. So we only find fragments, but the fragments that we find lead us to believe that if the rest of them are in proportion to these fragments, they towered over us, over 7 feet tall. Now, this was created by people who believe in the whole elongated head thing. I believe the elongated head tradition was made because they're imitating the squatter, the plasma deity head. I don't think it was quite this exaggerated. I think it was more like this. Andre the Giant was 7'5". He's from France. We come from France. Which again is what you can walk to Siberia from there. We know that Neanderthals have European DNA, or Europeans have Neanderthal DNA. This looks much more, I think, representative. That's more Neanderthalish. I think this is more likely what they looked like rather than our conehead friend here. I think Andre the Giant, 7'5", and that's a normal sized person there. This is our Denisovan friends. So they're obviously physically stronger. Did that have something to do with building the megaliths, perhaps? If you've got 10 of these guys, I think 10 of these guys is probably worth 20 of these guys. So, if not more. So, that may be a clue there as to our megalith builders. So anyway, getting back to, here's our friend on the bracelet. I know you think I'm seeing things, but I mean, if you followed my, here I go again, frozen. We're back. If you followed my other videos, you know this guy right away. You know the eyes messed up that this is going through and stuff. Furthermore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've seen my other videos where I've drawn up their laser scanning old pieces now. Finding all of these micro carvings, which I've been saying, I'm not crazy, they're there. It's the whole thing about can you see them or can you not see them is the technique that they've used to keep this hidden for so long. But look at this sequential pattern: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I even found the numbers counting down on the Yukushima megalith yesterday. So this is obviously intelligent design here. That's not natural. The rest is carved also. It's the same kind of carving. And we know that it's Ophiuchus, the Rosselhag star, the bright. That's why it's a different eye. Here's ancient India. This was a piece that they had, and that's the eye being shown right there. We know that it's in the star chart, that it's in the bottom right of the star chart, because that's where the North Star was, the pole star, the North axis, when the plasma deity happened in the sky. They're remembering where the plasma deity happened in the sky. They created the constellations and astronomy and astrology to remember where it is. On the Moai statue, this is the bottom right butt cheek. It's the Rosselhag star, because that's where it is in the star chart that the Moai back creates. Along with so this figure also gave us Shiva and every other figure with the Rapa, I mean the Maori with the haka where they stick out their tongue. They're making the plasma deity face. It's also in the Gobekli Tepe, exactly where it is on the Moai motif. It was the very first discovery I made on my birthday 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it's all been unlocked since then. So there he is, the skull right there. That's Ophiuchus. It's hidden. It's anamorphic art. Thou shalt not make unto any graven image of he who shall not be named. They were afraid of bringing it back. Then when they discovered it was a navigational tool, it became a military secret. It became prized information. And that's this is the Popol Vuh. This is the head. They saw this as a tree. It becomes a head on the tree. It looks better in the Maya counter. The Rapa Nui Moi back. This pole position, this moved down in because the pole star aged, moved down precession. So this is the the head became the head in the tree in the Popol Vuh that spits in the hand. That becomes the Hamza symbol that we know with the eye in the hand. She becomes pregnant, and that's a virgin birth by a god. This is seven death in the Popol Vuh, in the Zabalba, in the Mayan underworld, which I believe comes from the representation of this, which is Altamira Man, which I have also found the template in there, and he dates back to 140,000 years, if not 175,000 years. Here he is again in the Lamagaluna cave. That's where Altamira Man is in Italy, the whole cave system. And this is found exactly where it is in the template. I should have put the whole cave system up in the bottom right, because templates within templates. I just found this. This is in, I looked it up too. Dang it. Good, I still have it up. Algeria, which is just north of Lake Chad. This just gives the whole game away in Tassil Niger. So it's the same people. These are our. This is our plasma deity in the sky, and look exactly where he is. This is Rosselhag. That's the bright star. This is the Ophiuchus head. This is ancient cave art exactly around Lake Chad. Looks like we have another plasma deity up here. Looks like we have another skull. In fact, that is our this guy and this guy and this guy. Where is he? This is found in Cusco, or Sexy Woman. Look at that right there. He's that guy. More cave art. He's right there. I should have made. See, this is the thing. And that's okay. You've seen me point these out before. This is our plasma deity. The plasma deity is the thing they saw in the sky. You've heard me explain that a million times. Everything that you think is a space alien in ancient work, it's the plasma deity they saw in the sky. But look, he's exactly where he's supposed to be. And this would be on the Moai. This is the pearl that they're fighting over. In fact, that even might be the bird eye right there. See how high up it is? Much higher than where we see, because it's all the way down here for the Moai one. But they're fighting in the beaks over the pearl, and that's where he was. He's up there, so that's why this is down here. So they're actually drawing. This shows it. This is the exact. This is proving my theory. This is the eye. I should have drawn it. This is the beak, right there. This is the plasma deity. Looks like they even put an eye of providence right there. You can look it up. And in the eye of providence is another face. It's templates within templates within templates. This is our Ophiuchus head. He's got the two eyes that are messed up. That became Ophiuchus down here. So I'm starting to think, after seeing this, that they didn't mess up, but this was maybe just the closest figure that they could create in that portion of the sky. See, it's in the same portion of the sky. I think once they realized that over here, that because they didn't know at first that this, the reason why his head was up here was because this was where, and I think you see, yep, this is the planetary alignment that they're showing here. That is Mars and that's Saturn back there. Watch Symbols of an Alien Sky. This is showing the actual, I'm sorry, that's Mars and that's Venus. Mars, well, they're all three there. Mars, this is Venus that the circle is Mars, the star pattern behind it is Venus, and the circle behind that is Saturn. The alignment with us, we're Earth, so we're a part of this, creates the, I gotta alert Thunderbolts, I bet you they don't even know about this one. David Talbot. This is what they saw in the sky. It created the plasma discharge in between us and these planets. And this created the plasma deity in the sky, aka Squatter Man. These are the circles on the side. And so they're showing the rest of the constellation where he is in the sky. This is Ophiuchus. This is the Rosselheg star right there. They got rid of Ophiuchus because they realized that this is the pole star. This is our North Pole. It was happening on a North Pole axis. So the pole star moved down, and they noticed that all the planets circled around the pole star. So they didn't. This wasn't used for navigation. They may have used it to find the pole star. You find Rosselhag, and then the pole star is to the left. But without the navigational use and the fact that he was modeled, the constellation was modeled after the esoteric wisdom, the military secret, the navigational tool. That's why they took him out of the zodiac. So you see this guy. He also became Odin, which, boom. I mean, you can't get any more. I mean, he even got this is the birth of the halo, by the way. So there he is in Nigeria or Algeria, and there he is. This is the earliest depiction of Odin in Scandinavia. This was a global cult. Here he is again. You see the sort of Darth Vader. In the Ophiuchus constellation, it became a beard. And this is how here he is in Cusco. This is Ophiuchus. It's carved in. I colored it so that you could see it better. But it's carved. Look, he's got the snake arms. This is its Sexy Woman. Sexy Woman is full of micro engravings. Zoom in on just about any single stone, and you'll start to see faces and stuff. It's not your imagination. They are these creatures. They are the minor underworld deities of the Popol Vuh. Okay, so as you know, I think that the elite know, and I think that they've used this imagery as marketing tools. This is our guy. There he is again, and he's Darth Vader. This is a mask worn by, I want to say the Maori, but it's probably wrong. Here's how it is. It's found in this is at Teotihuacan, I believe, and maybe not the one in the clouds. It escapes my memory right now. But by the way, this isn't two builders. They went to the smaller stone because they're creating the bird up there, and there was probably more. It probably continued all the way. This was the bird wing, and then it continued up. But they needed smaller stone because they're making a mosaic. This is all the same builder, but they're here he is. This is the underworld. That's the disc actually, because this would be the horizon line. This is our Moai thong. Over here we find our skull. Over here is Pavo, I reckon, somewhere. But what I'm pointing out to you here is, you see this is exactly how I pointed out yesterday on the Yukushima monument in Japan. Again, template is the bottom right is always weathered, damaged. This is intentional, but it's done so to hide Seven Death. The god of the underworld, it became the god of the underworld, the Popol Vuh. Here he is. I've sort of crudely drawn him, and you see where he's been incorporated into. This is the people who know, because this imagery, we are drawn to it and we are frightened about it. So that makes it perfect for marketing and for systems of control. Here he is again. This is the American Midwest, but you see, it's the same template. It's just engraved with different. These are the 100 drunk boys from the Popol Vuh. It's another electric pattern from the discharge of the plasma from this plasma deity. This guy's like completely oblivious what's right next to him. So again, this is Odin, and then he just flat out became Thor, who got the Odin power. Again, this is the elites know. They were master geocarvers. This is it in the American Southwest, north of Mesoamerica, so it's all connected. This is carved. This is a hidden symbol. You'll see the slash goes right through the eye there. That's the Rosselheg star, little squinty star. There's the mouth. And they've even made another template out of it, templates within templates. Here you see our guy again. There's the skull, and they've been clever about it because they put the exact same crack right where his eye as it goes through his eye. You see the thing right there? That's our Darth Vader thing. It's also grill there. It was also the pyramid. You see this is intentional. This was done intentional. This is not the story that you know about some crazy guy went up there and started hacking at it. They're creating the gash in the face. This was a Rosselgu. This was a star. This was another one of our heads. They shaped it to be the pharaoh, and they forgot what it was. In fact, the entire Giza layout, in addition to being what I've said in another video, is an entire one. Look, here are the eyes, and they've got this guy. That's the modern road, but it's based on older things. They've got it going right through. This is the natural contour created by the Nile, and it's the pyramid. So they're making it with Giza. Here it is in Peru. Everybody wonders what that is that they carved in the right. Here's the squinty eye that we see that they did in Horseshoe Bend in the Grand Canyon. Here's the squinty eye, and this is the Rosselheg star. Ancient Athens, there's the Rosselheg scar that they made a huge clearing for. The other eye is so holy, it's the Acropolis. The nose was something special too, and they turned this wall line, I'm guessing it's some natural geographic feature at first, into that's probably why the whole location was changed, was because this geographic and it matched. They could make something out of it that matched a holy spot. It's just like today, places are venerated because like if they see water coming out of a statue, or people flock to it. If people can match what they see to their holy imagery in their head, it becomes a holy place. Here we see in Mesoamerican art, it's a skull. It's got the Rosselheg star is different in the eye. It's got the mark going through the face. It became the skull of John the Baptist that the Knights Templar were burned at the stake for worshiping. They were actually worshiping Seven Death, or what became of Seven Death. Their Rosselheg star, it's the plasma deity. They knew the secret. And I'm guessing they found out the secret underneath the Temple of Solomon when they excavated. By the way, there was no temple. There was no Solomon. The Solomon is code. It's Temple of Sol Amun. Remember, people always forget they came from Egypt. They were incredible. They were in Egypt for hundreds of years, the Judaic culture, and they were highly influenced by Egyptians. Amun is what? Amun Ra, the sun god. Sol is a very ancient word for sun, but before that it meant Saturn. Sol Amun, the temple of Sol Amun, is the temple of the sun, and it's not this sun; it's the old sun. The god of the Old Testament is the plasma deity. I am a wrathful God. I am a vengeful God. They destroyed their world. I did another video. Monotheism is based on the plasma deity. Got a lot to. I can make videos all day. I have a regular job I got to get to. Okay, so this is the Olmec heads. We see the same. Different eyes. The damage of this is intentional damage. It's esoteric. The Rosselhag star, the normal star. Okay, so let's get back to our friend here. What I want y'all to also to notice is this has been drilled, and we find similar drill marks in ancient Egypt quarries. This is the same culture that created the pyramids. It may not be the same race, but it's the same technology. This is ultra thin stone. I'm going to do another video. We find diorite bowls at Saqqara by the thousands that were also very thin stone that you cannot create without modern machinery. We don't know that's what I keep telling. I don't know the process that they created stone. But this thing dates back, and conservatively speaking, 40,000 years, liberally speaking, 75,000 to 80,000 years. This process was around for a long time because the pyramids are dated 5000 BC. This process was around for a long time that we have lost. How they were cutting these, how they were, and I've got to think also that it is a process that one person can do, because I don't see a team of people working on this bracelet. This was one technician, and to get the stone this thin is a process, and it's a very delicate process because I think he broke it. I don't think this was broken with time. I'm going to show you. I think the guy who did it was broke it. And the funny thing is he did it making his hand carvings, not the machine part didn't break it. It was his hand. So the machine, whatever process this is, if stone softening it, was much more delicate and workable than working with a hand. Let me show you. So the first thing that jumped out at me after I saw the thing was, this is the disc. This is the disc in our pattern, in our template. That would make this the horizon, and here's our bird. Here's the eye, and here is the beak. I see this as higher. Here's the beak. Then see the Moai, the disc, which I believe is the pole star, and at this point it's Polaris, the one we share today, is right on the horizon, and that's that would be when the pole star changed over would be 900 AD, which is what we date the Rapa Nui presence on the island there at. Were there people there before? Who knows? The sediment, there is no backfill on these moai. They can tell when they dig them, there's no backfill. So all of the sediment that is built up has built there over time. So that would suggest that the moai, the statues themselves, may have been there long before, and perhaps they were carved later with the back engravings. But the statues there that are there may have been there a long time beforehand, and I suggest perhaps they were carved later when they found, because the pole star changed, they fitted to the back, and I believe the Moai are the mud people, because we find the exact sort of pillar in the homeland of Adina Masif, which I think is an anagram for Eden, and we find the likeness in the Pol Vuh, which is saying that it's the first man. So this is higher, and that's where it should be. If this is 900 AD down here, this is 40,000. It takes time for the pole star to move down. Also, it appears that they have put where the plasma deity was. It would have been in his beak. So this is where the other guy was. This is the hands part right here. That's his hands because it's up by his face. So that's the hands, and there. This is where it's almost as if where the arm goes through is where the plasma deity head would have been, and I think that's kind of neat design wise. It's also a little higher, I feel, than where it is on the Gobekli Tepe stela. So I think we're looking at a time before then. We also have to take into account that, you know, they're drilling into it in the middle of the thin chlorite stone. So there's only so much give they have with the placement of this. So I don't know how accurate we can go. I know that it's not where it is on the Moai back. I feel like it's a little higher, and the pattern has changed. So there's something going on here. This may suggest that there were different stylistic renditions of it. There wasn't just one version of this. We also saw the Olmec version where this is turned into a box. So the point is, this down here would be the most modern one, and up here would be the long time. And there is a lot of distance between where they are and where they're saying the plasma deity head was, because as we saw it on the cave drawing, that was where it was in relation. So this suggests to me that our Altamira man may be right. That if this is 40 to 70,000 years ago, this could be the distance of another 100,000 years prior, maybe more. Because, you know, how much artistic license can they take the further it goes back? So let's go back to... let's go. We're back to. Sorry. Okay, so here's more shots of the bracelet. This is a pavo. This is the other side, by the way. This is a pavo. And let me see if I can find a better. There's also an engraving on the inside where they just sort of scratch the face. By the way, I think this is the other face. The hand paintings now, I think, are two faces. I think the one face is the skull, and I think the other face matches more this one. It's much more soft, it's much more elegant, and I think I found what it is. I think it's the face in the moon. But I'm going to do another video on that later. Okay, so here's what I want you to look at. This is our over here was the pavo. This over here is our. This over here was our face, okay? So, here, oh, let me show you real quick because I made the point earlier. This is the skull. I mean, this is the bird head right here. This is where his feet would be. Let me show you on the Moai. See his feet right there? See how close that is to the ring? I think the guy making it broke it. I think he was etching into the stone, and again, that'll tell you whatever process they use to soften this or to cut this is much more delicate than human hands scraping hard. I think that may suggest some sort of stone softening technique. I don't know how they cut the stone; it drives me nuts. So this is our bird, and I think this is this was the other guy, and because his feet are so close to the where the disc would be right there, it got broken off. Okay, so here's the last bit. This is the skull that I see with our Ophiuchus head. Some more versions. So let me get to the good one here. This really shows off how it's also the pavo and the skull. You can really see the skull right there, the two eyes, the half skull from like the Popol Vuh, and there's our pavo head. So the ring thing that they created that goes with it it's mirroring this. So this is what they're doing is showing that The ring thing that dangles from it is in Zabulba. It's in the underworld. It represents the person that they're burying, because this is Pavo, and that's the skull. That makes everything below here in Zabulba. So they go down into, this is like, imagine Pakal right here. He's going down into the underworld, and the ring would then be representing the people. So I said, I've seen this skull shape before, and there it is. It's the Malta. See the skull right there? I should have outlined it. It's the Malta Island skull that I showed yesterday, and there he is again at the Lamagaluno cave system, where Altamira Man, that's in the bottom right, because they're making Zabulba the underworld. Here he is outlined again, and let me do the other outlines better. There we go. There he is outlined again, and here is what I believe is they turned it into a bull shape. But this is the same skull, and this is in the Lascaux caves in France, which we know Neanderthals were found in France. There's the same skull found hidden, etched into the Denisovan Siberian cave system, which dates back to 40 to 70,000 years old. We now have the same continuous symbol. Even if we just go by conservative estimates, 40,000 BCE. This is 17,000. That has lasted, 27,000 years of oral history. And there he is in the Lamagaluno cave of the Altamira Man, which goes back to 140,000 years. And there is the house. Actually, this is the necropolis of Malta. So it's Zabulba. They're creating the underworld again. All these are graves. I wish I could find a better picture of the skull on there. But here he is again. So you see how he's got sort of the gray's eyes, and it's sort of that frown face. It's him. That's him. And he is the necropolis. And the necropolis is the Ophiuchus, because they're making Zabulba. They're making the underworld. Okay, everybody, this ended up being a lot longer than I wanted to. I'm starting to feel the edges, I think, around the human history story that we're missing. It's shuffling pieces around, but I think it's all starting together, and this was a very major piece. I'm still going to get to that Japanese megalith, those Asian megaliths video, I promise. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.